have souls, about how you get power from melanin in your skin, and because white people don't have that. They're animals. And now you've got an even more mainstream guy, P. Diddy, coming out and defending.
Think about what that means. A billionaire defending the dehumanization of his own people. But here's where it gets darker.
But when you get that kind of money, you go be sick.
Beat. This isn't just about parties. This is about a system, a deliberately designed system to enslave black men. What you're about to hear challenges everything you thought you knew about one of entertainment's biggest moguls. And it all traces back to one critical question. How did Sean Diddy Combs build an empire so powerful that nobody, not celebrities, not executives, not even the media, has been able to stop him until now? Charleston White, a cultural critic who's been raising the alarm for years, has connected dots that the industry desperately wanted to keep scattered. He saw it as a blueprint. Andre Harrell had shown him the game. Now he was going to run it himself. Bad Boy Entertainment wasn't just a label. It was a machine, a system designed to manufacture not just hits, but loyalty. Artists didn't just sign contracts. They entered into relationships where Diddy controlled every aspect of their lives, their image, their sound, their access, their money. But Mace was just the beginning. The East Coast-West Coast feud wasn't random. It was strategic. Diddy positioned Bad Boy as the face of East Coast dominance, and he used every tool at his disposal to maintain that crown. Tupac and the notorious B.I.G. weren't just rappers. They were symbols. And their deaths, they cemented Diddy's power. Here's what Charleston White understood that most people missed. The violence wasn't collateral damage. It was the point. When you create a culture where excess is normalized, where violence is romanticized, where loyalty is demanded through fear and complicity, you're not creating a music genre, you're creating a control system. The notorious B.I.G. worked for Diddy. He made Diddy rich, and when he died, Diddy mourned publicly but moved forward strategically. Bad Boy survived. Bad Boy thrived. And every artist who signed with Diddy after that understood the implicit message. This is what happens when you play the game. This is the cost.
When you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids and say we smoking on too.
Charleston White wasn't just talking about Diddy's music. He was talking about a culture, a system where death became entertainment, where violence became currency, and where black men, especially young, vulnerable black men, were the raw material. Now we get to the part that nobody wanted to talk about, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Diddy's business model expanded beyond records. He moved into fashion, television, spirits. But the underlying system remained the same. Control through access. Access through compromise. Compromise through secrets. The parties became legendary, exclusive, invite only, and attendance became currency in the industry. If you wanted to stay relevant, if you wanted that deal, if you wanted to stay in Diddy's good graces, you went to the parties.
What is the baby oil? What does that stand for? Where does that come in
You know, them want to all their bodies up and slip and slide.
This wasn't about sex. Well, not just about sex. This was about documentation, control, leverage. Think about what that infrastructure means. That's not a party. That's a system. That's operational capability. That's someone who's studied human psychology, addiction, endurance, and designed an environment to maximize dependency. Every man at those parties, and they were all there eventually, became a node in a network, a compromise node, someone with secrets, someone with something to lose.
Every major person you know have been to his party. They're starting to release photos of Aaliyah was at the party.
LeBron, Kobe.
Why you think ain't nobody saying nothing? They're not bashing him.
They're not unfollowing him. They not nothing.
That's not loyalty. That's not friendship. That's control. Here's where the story gets truly sinister. Once you have that many powerful people compromised, celebrities, executives, politicians, you're not just running a label anymore. You're running a state, an underground state with its own rules, its own justice system, its own currency.
So think about Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Remember, Puffy was with them with the Rock the Vote. All of this have always hovered over Puffy's head as a dark cloud. And they know this to be true. They turn a blind eye.
That's not coincidence. That's not just networking. That's leverage. The book that Kim Porter allegedly left behind before she mysteriously passed from pneumonia contained names, specific names, alleged activities, and according to the narrative, these revelations have been circulating in whisper networks for years, but nobody spoke. Why?
Homie, they've been ignoring this, turning the blinds eye forever. That's why I came attacking the industry, the culture, the community. And nigga, push back. And everything out of the, it's been 5 years and it unfolded. And it's still no pushback. It's still no mother pushback against Puffy. None.
Because everyone was in, not as victims, as participants, as beneficiaries, as slaves to the system Diddy built. And here's the genius of it. By bringing them all in, by making them all complicit, he ensured their silence.
And for them to maintain in that world, they have to be okay with evil things. Whether that's T.I., man, you have to be okay with evil things because you don't get this high.
It's crazy.
Religious people have always said that evil things and evil high power of principalities exist in high places.
But the celebrity network was just the surface layer. Diddy's real power came from his business ventures, Cyrock Vodka, Sean John, television production. These weren't just vanity projects, they were infrastructure. They connected him to corporate America, to boardrooms, to decision makers. And once he had those connections, he had them. Now here's what Charleston White was implying, and here's what you need to understand. This wasn't random. These weren't independent scandals. Think about the pattern. A CEO steps down unexpectedly. No real explanation. His legacy suddenly tainted. The narrative shifts. Within months, his reputation is destroyed, his influence is gone, his power is neutered, and Diddy still standing. That's not hyperbole, that's not speculation, that's a pattern. A deliberate, calculated pattern of compromise, documentation, and leverage. The freak-offs weren't just parties. They were recruitment events, opportunities to gather intelligence, to compromise powerful people, to build a database of leverage that extended from hip-hop into tech, finance, sports, and politics. But let's pull back and see the full picture of what Charleston White was really saying. This wasn't just about Diddy exploiting people for personal gain. This was about a system, a deliberate, calculated system designed to enslave black men specifically. Think about it. Diddy built his empire by controlling black artists. He dictated what they wore, what they said, how they moved. He created a culture where excess, violence, and degradation were normalized. He made black men into caricatures, into entertainment for consumption by white audiences. And then, once he had that power, he extended it upward to white executives, to corporations, to politics.
Puffy got some pictures, man, with Donald Trump, Russell Simmons from way back when he was a young pup. Man, the white boy always find them a good like Puffy. It's a around here like named Jim Shaw. They use them kind of to find them out of our culture in the industry to go recruit the girls that's down with the freaking.
He didn't just enslave black men, he used the system of enslaving black men as the template for enslaving everyone else. The baby oil, the IV clinics, the after parties, the secrets, the documentation, the leverage, the blackmail. It was slavery, modern slavery, with luxury as the bait and compromise as the chains.
You mean to tell me when you first became a star and didn't nobody know who you were and you was trying to get in, you didn't go to the party? You gotta keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nobody have pushed back against this culture that Diddy supposed to have created for us in the black entertainment world.
Nobody.
There's been no pushback against him.
Nobody. They quiet.
The silence is the most damning part of this story. Hundreds of people knew, thousands potentially. Every executive who attended a party, every artist who survived Diddy's label, every celebrity photographed at his events, every producer, engineer, assistant, bodyguard, they all knew, and they all stayed silent.
They would delete my videos off their platform. Think about it, nigga, they would delete my videos off their platform. They won't even invite me.
Charleston White was raising the alarm for years. And what happened? His content got suppressed. He got deplatformed. He got silenced because the system was too big, too interconnected, too powerful.
When Jeffrey Epstein started showing up in places, white people started saying, hey man, what is that guy? Who is he? What do he do? How did he become rich? Man, they started giving a pushback. There was never no pushback against Diddy.
Why? Because Diddy wasn't an outsider. He was part of the system. He was connected to politicians, executives, celebrities. He was useful to the power structure. Epstein was expendable. Diddy was valuable until suddenly he wasn't. Here's where the story takes a turn that most people didn't expect. The FBI didn't just randomly decide to raid Diddy's homes. The federal government didn't suddenly develop a conscience about what was happening in the hip-hop industry. Something changed. Someone made a call, or multiple calls.
I don't think the FBI wants anybody else. They're just answering the call. And the people who decide to answer the call, careers will be furthered off the publicity, of handling this case, off the conviction of this case. But I don't think they want anything else. They don't want to uncover and discover what was really going on.
They just want the black dude, the black man. That's
They
it.
And here's the tragic irony. The very system that protected Diddy for decades, the complicity of powerful people, the compromised executives, the celebrities with secrets, that system is now silent when he needs it most. Nobody's coming to his defense. Nobody's using their power to help him because they can't. Because doing so would expose everything.
Puffy stays solid. Don't tell on nobody. Go do his time. And come back and still be the man.
But the question nobody's asking is, will he? Or more importantly, should he? Charleston White's critique was never really about Diddy personally. It was about what Diddy represented, what he built, what he normalized. A system where young black men are exploited, documented, and controlled. A system that has been replicated across the entertainment industry. A system that has metastasized into corporate America. And that's the real story. Not the legal cases, not the accusations, not even the arrest. The real story is that this system existed, thrived, and was protected for decades, that powerful people knew, that they participated, that they profited, and that nobody, until everything collapsed, was willing to tell the truth.
Evil things and evil high power of principalities exist in high places.
That's not a statement about Diddy. That's a statement about all of us who knew, all of us who stayed silent, all of us who benefited from the system, even in small ways. But here's what Charleston White left us with: the unanswered questions that the federal case might never address. How many executives are still walking free because their leverage is still intact? How many young black men are still trapped in deals modeled on the same exploitative system Diddy pioneered? How many celebrities will continue their careers without ever addressing their complicity? And most importantly, when this is all over, when Diddy's conviction is finalized, when he's serving his sentence, will anything actually change because the system survives? Diddy is just one node, one operator, one mogul. But the infrastructure, the methods, the playbook? Charleston White's exposure of Diddy wasn't just about one man's crimes. It was about a pattern, a system, a culture that enslaved black men, exploited their talent, and corrupted everyone connected to the power structure. From Harlem to the boardrooms of corporate America, Diddy built an empire on control. And now, as that empire collapses, we're left with a stark reality. The chains weren't always visible, but they were always there. And unless we're willing to dismantle the system that created them, they'll just be rebuilt under a different name. But that's the real story Charleston White was telling.